Oh, hello. Hi, everyone. Hi. Let's talk about some gay stuff. Or more specifically, some trans stuff. But we can talk about gay stuff too. That's fine as well. James, could you please share this stream on my Discord, if you don't mind? Hello. Hi. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my first stream. On the It Gets Better channel. I have never done this before, so I'm a little bit awkward, but hi! Obviously, I mean, I've just literally been streaming with most of my community who are probably primarily here right now anyway, so like, you know, I'll feel less nervous by the fact that you guys are here. And mostly like the people here are from my community, so we'll be okay. But yeah, it's nice to see you guys. Hello, hello, hello. I just need like a couple of minutes to just share that I am alive on my like socials and things like that. So just give me 2 minutes if you don't mind. Just give me 1 second, and then we'll get started. I'm excited for today's stream because when we were discussing what I would be doing on the stream, I specified that I would like to do a stream talking about like various trans things throughout the different streams that we do, and I feel like that's what I'm best qualified to talk about, more so than other LGBTQ+ topics. But obviously, over the years, I have become aware of a lot of various LGBTQ+ things from talking to so many LGBTQ+ people and meeting so many friends. So hopefully this will be useful. What I thought would be good for our first stream is we're going to talk a little bit about makeup, specifically for trans people. But you might find it useful to talk about it for other things too. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take all my makeup off and we'll do it again on the stream. In addition to answering questions. So if you guys have any questions for LGBTQ+ related topics, you can ask those too. I'm just going to go share this stream on my YouTube channel really quick. So give me 1 second. Please bear with me. Also, for those of you that are entering our diamond giveaway who play Royal High, I will be announcing the winner for that shortly too. So just bear with me just a minute. Okay. There we go. Thank you all for following, by the way. I appreciate it. Make sure you follow the page. You can see all the other cool ambassadors and stuff that are going to be streaming on here too then, which is exciting. And let me just say that I'm here for anybody that needs to know. Just a moment, please. Oh my gosh, this music is so like classic. I have a license for my music on a different thing that I use, but I was like, oh, I probably can't use that on here because like I pay for it for my channel. So I was like, oh, quick, I'll like use like no copyright sounds or something. I haven't heard the music from like no copyright sounds in ages, but I remember I used to play it so much back in the day. Also, it was just Christmas, so like my room is such a mess behind me. You probably can tell there's like just literally stuff everywhere. Anyway, hi, how are you guys doing? I love your videos and you have a great personality, so please remember you're really neat. Thank you, I appreciate it. Out of curiosity, who here who is watching right now is not from my community? I have a feeling that most of you guys are going to be from my community. But it's cool to see if anybody new is here. Stephanie is back. Hi, Stephanie. Yeah, we got James and Stephanie over here modding for us to help us out, which is going to be awesome. So excited to see what you share. Thank you. So, I've got my little makeup bag. And stuff like that so we can talk about it. But what we'll do first, we'll do a little, I guess, introduction. I'm really bad at introing myself. So, let's have a go. My name is B. I'm actually a Roblox YouTuber primarily. And I also stream on Twitch. I am a Twitch partner, and we stream mainly on Twitch. We play Roblox mainly, but we do play other stuff as well occasionally. All depends on kind of what we're feeling at the time. We do all sorts of different bits and bobs. I am trans, in case you didn't know. My pronouns are she, her, right there on the screen. And I don't know what else you would say. I think the last ambassador that I watched introduce themselves, they said their gender identity and their pronouns and their sexuality. If we're talking about sexuality, it's very complicated. That's the best way I could describe that about me. It's complicated. And I have no idea how I would describe it. So that's other than complicated. If you would like to, everyone in chat, if you want to share with me the same introduction, you can share your gender identity and your sexuality and your pronouns if you like, so that I can see who you guys are. I'm a bit nervous, can you tell? I'll feel more calm. I'm going to be streaming on this channel once a month for 6 months, I believe it is, as an ambassador, along with the other ambassadors. So it's exciting. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, strangers. Luke. Hi, Yuku. Hi, Abby. Hi, Maple. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Yuri. Hi, Neon Layla. Hi, Lee. How are you doing? Hi, Wolfie. Hi, Mika. Hi, Kid. Hi, Octopample. Hi, Cupid. Hi, Eris. So, what we're going to be doing in the stream... Hi, Mew. Hi, Definite Loving. We are going to basically be doing a makeup tutorial, essentially. I'm going to preface that by saying I am not a makeup guru by any means. By no means am I a beauty guru who knows everything about the makeups. But I do know what I like to wear for myself to make myself feel more comfortable. And specifically, what I like to do that makes me feel, I suppose, more feminine. And I suppose for me personally, I try to do my makeup in a way that makes me less clockable. I hate that word. But less likely that people in public are going to call me he or Sir or think I'm a man. Because my voice doesn't do wonders for me. Because people in public do often think that I have a really masculine voice. So my voice isn't out here helping me out, guys. It's not helping me out very much. So, yeah. You're an ally. That's awesome, Stephanie. Hi, Toddy. You're questioning. Fair enough. You know, it takes time to figure out who you are. Don't rush yourself. Take all the time you need. That's completely okay. We've got a lot of trans people in here too, which is awesome. I'm glad to see it. Hi, Sophia. Welcome on in. Hi, Akatsuki. Hi, Definite Loving. You're very scared to come out. That's okay. I mean, I definitely understand. I know that it was very scary for me too. I was really terrified to come out. And I think most people are. I think it is scary. It's got to be something that you do when you feel comfortable and when you know you're safe to do so. That's the main thing. Let me just remove my cat. My very annoying cat who is kicking everything all over the place on my desk. Because I need space. Now, he's being moody with me now. He's like, how dare you remove me? Yeah, coming out is very scary. But, you know, when you feel comfortable to do so and feel ready, you know, that's when it's most important to do it. So, don't push yourself before you're ready to. Okay. So, the idea with this stream is that I'm going to walk you guys through what I personally do with my own makeup. I'm going to take my makeup off, which is not going to be a good sight, just so you know. And I'm going to walk you through what I personally like to do with my makeup and how I like to do it. The steps I take to try and make myself feel better, I suppose. I don't really leave my house unless I have makeup on. Sometimes I will go out without makeup on, but only if I know I'm not going to be seen by anyone. So like if I'm going to a drive-thru or something, like to get coffee or something like that, as long as I don't think I'm going to see anybody, then I will probably choose not to wear it. But for the most part, I wear it all the time. On days when I don't film with face cam on my YouTube videos and I know I don't have a stream, I'll give my face like a chance to breathe, I suppose. But for the most part, I wear makeup all the time. So I think I've had a lot of time to learn, you know? Just curious, you don't have to answer, but what is your sexuality? It's just kind of complicated. I don't really know. It's just complicated. I seem to fluctuate a lot. And so, I don't really know. I came out to my family on my birthday and I was so happy that they were very supportive about it. I'm really happy to hear that. It's amazing to hear that there's some LGBTQIA+ communities out there. And I believe that if you're a man and want to wear a dress, go ahead. Have fun, live your life once you get reincarnated. Live your life once... Unless you get reincarnated. Right, okay. Yeah, I think everybody should be free to wear whatever they want. I think that clothing should be gender free and you should wear whatever makes you comfortable and makes you happy. That is, you know, whatever makes you happy. Hi Twisted Wolf, hi Sophia, hi Sailor Moon, hi Lee. I came out as trans mask near my birthday and my mum and stepdad weren't okay with it, but my dad was. Oh, well, I'm glad somebody was. I'm sorry to hear that your mum and stepdad weren't so great. I hope it improves. I have my finger crossed for you. My sexuality fluctuates all the time. I feel that. Does anybody have any questions before I get started? I will answer questions throughout as well, and we can talk a bit about like trans journeys and things like that. I'm gonna need to get like a headband or something. Let me just grab a headband so that I can pull my bangs back. So I can do my makeup. I came out of my bestie's house and we were talking about the flags, and when she described the 2 flags I knew that was me. Oh, well, I'm glad that makes you feel more comfortable and you found who you are and how you feel about yourself. I'm a straight girl, but I'm always an ally to my LGBT peeps. I'm glad to hear that, RM Noodles. That's awesome. Alright, so if there's no questions before we get started, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and then you guys can ask questions throughout if you have any, like whatever you might want to. James, once we're ready to announce the giveaway winners, we'll probably give it a little bit. Will you then tag in the community and tell everybody that we're doing that? If that's alright. I did have 2 questions for you, B. What's your opinion on those who are Ara Ace, and what do you think of Nia pronouns? So I don't personally understand enough about Ara or Ace people. Am I saying that right? Ara? Is it pronounced like Ara or Ara? I don't know a lot about it specifically, but I am of the opinion that whether I understand something or not, everybody should be supported, and you should refer to people and talk about people and talk to people the way they want you to. I think that whether I understand it or not, or whether I've done enough research into it, I should always make an effort to be supportive of people and their decisions and how they feel about themselves. A lot of people don't understand how I feel about myself, and so I would just hope they respect me and use the language I ask them to use. And so I do the same thing and I afford other people the same respect that I would hope for in return, basically. So even if I don't understand it, don't know much. It's not that I don't understand it. That sounds like I've read about it and I'm like, that's confusing. That's not the case. It's that I just haven't read into it yet. And I should, and I will. I will put it on my to-do list. You lost one of your favorite lip glosses? No! What was the other question you asked? I've completely forgotten. What do you think of neo-pronouns? Again, even if I don't understand them or don't use them myself, I think we should respect everybody, and if you ask me to use them, I will. I think that I'm more likely to mix up neo-pronouns accidentally, but I will always try. Ace is the same. Oh, is it the same as asexual? Is it like the same thing? Are they interchangeable words? I see. Okay, Milena, thank you so much for sharing. Just to be clear, you guys, on this channel, unlike on my own channel, you are allowed to say words like sexual and things like that. You're allowed to talk about that. I did check with the people, who, like, the Get Better Project people, who I obviously worked alongside with to make the partnerships. You are allowed to discuss certain topics on this channel that you probably wouldn't discuss on my own channel. Stuff that I would maybe talk about on my vlog channel, but would not talk about on this channel, or on my own channel, sorry. You are allowed to talk about those things. I am still going to tread lightly because I recognize that my community is younger and I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. But if anybody has a direct question that they want me to answer, while I'm on this channel, I am willing to answer it in a way that I think I can articulate without, you know, breaking boundaries. But you have been warned before you came to the stream, and I have given you a heads up before you got here, so hopefully you're aware. What was being a teacher like as a trans person? Did the children notice, and did you ever encounter any room parents or staff? When I first started teaching, I hadn't come out yet because at the time my family were sort of, they say requesting, but more so forcing me to not tell anyone yet that I was trans. And so when I was kind of forced to start my new job without coming out. So of course the children would have been aware because I came out while I was there, and I just sort of left at Christmas and then came back identifying the way I wanted to. And so I think that some of the children may have been confused at first, but to be honest, children are not born with hate. It's something that they are taught, and every single child was always really pleasant with me and positive, and none of them ever called me like the wrong names or anything. They were always really good. They never misgendered me. I had one issue with one parent the entire time that I was there, and they made a complaint about me being trans, and the head teacher of the school, my boss, basically said to them, get over it or transfers your child to a different school. Because in this country that's legally protected by law, there's nothing they can do about it. So, yeah, I had a really pleasant experience at the school I went to. So, we are going to need to put on the headband, because I don't want to get makeup everywhere. So, my forehead is going to be exposed. We are going to expose my forehead. If I can get this on without pulling all my hair out as well. That would be fabulous. For my fellow trans mass, do you have tips on how to pass better? Being misgendered on a daily basis, not even being asked my pronouns, etc. is killing me. Yeah, that is a very common thing in like society. People, you know, in daily life, people won't ask you your pronouns. Very frustrating. People make a lot of assumptions. In general situations when I'm just moving about my life, I try not to think about it or worry about it too much, but it's easier said than done. Naturally, I'm not trans mask, so I can't help with that. But I think often we have this, like, society has this really negative perception about this whole idea of like having to pass, when in reality there are lots of people who look different, you know. Oh, by the way, Devilish, I've just realised that you gifted some on my channel right as we left, and I don't know if I said thank you, so I just wanted to say thank you. And thank you for following everybody on this channel too. Okay, so first things first, guys, we're going to take my makeup off. I'm going to use my cellar water, and the idea behind this stream is that I'm going to talk to you guys about the actual products that I'm using, and I'll tell you like the things that I'm using and how I'm using them, and what I'm using them for and why I'm doing it. So like, there might be some things that I do that like women or just general people wearing makeup may not do, but as a trans person I do to make me feel a little bit better about myself and to cover certain things, and I will explain that as I go along, and hopefully that will help some of you guys. Are you in a relationship? If not, do you want to be in one? Also, do you like males or females to date if it's not too personal? So, I mainly date men. I have dated women before, but I find that I don't really enjoy dating women. That's why I said it's complicated. But I'm not dating right now. I do go on dates sometimes. I think it's, you know, it's not a bad thing to keep your options open. I'm not like actively, like I'm not in a relationship. I do go on dates sometimes. Do I want to be in a relationship? That's complicated too, because sometimes I feel like I would like to be in a relationship and sometimes I feel like I wouldn't. The main problem for me is that I would like to settle down and have a family. My career is kind of sorted, you know, it's going well. My general life is going pretty well in general. So I'm getting to a point where I would quite like to start a family. But I don't push myself, if that makes sense. I'm trying not to push myself. Do you have kids? I don't have kids. I'm also only 23. So I've got plenty of time. Who is James to you? He's just one of my very close friends and also my community admin. So I'm taking my makeup off with makeup wipes, but I'm also using micellar water. Micellar water is so useful, you guys. I'm using Garnier micellar water. I absolutely love micellar water. Super, super useful stuff. Really helpful. Takes your makeup off so much better than just makeup wipes. I use a lot of just general drugstore brands. So for the most part, people will be able to access these easier. The only difference I would say is that I have a couple of brands that are not necessarily drugstore brands because I have psoriasis to my face and I have face allergies. So my face reacts negatively to certain things. And for that reason, I do have some products that are a little bit more expensive, but not like super expensive, if that makes sense. Like I don't buy anything that's like super expensive. If I missed any messages and you can see it's like gone out of the chat, please feel free to resend. I don't want to miss anybody's points or anything that they're sending. Have you ever had to explain what transition is? Like a little kid who has no idea. I have not, because I've never been asked by a child. I have 2 younger brothers, one who is 14 years old and one who is 3 years old, and they have never asked anything like that. They, like I say, children are not usually, like, they're not born with hate. It's something that they're taught. They're not born with this perception of, like, people not being the same. Like, obviously we teach them that everyone is different, but they don't have a negative perception of those differences. Thank you, Phoenix, for following. They don't have those, like, negative perceptions of people's differences unless you teach it, right? So, like, they don't see, like, say, people with different races as something negative, but unless you teach them that it's negative. The same thing with like, gender identity and sexuality and things like that. LGBTQ plus people, they don't hate on them unless they're taught to by someone, usually adults in their lives or society around them and things like that, if that makes sense. I have a question. You don't have to answer if it's too personal. What do the people who you go on dates with think about you being trans? Sorry if it's offensive. I'm not LGBTQ+. Sir, I don't go on dates with people without them already knowing that I'm trans. And I won't go if they aren't comfortable with the fact that I'm trans. So I make that clear first. I'm not one of those people who doesn't tell them. I think everyone's entitled to do whatever they want. I think, in my opinion, you should tell them if you're going to, like have a second date or you're going to do something personal, then like intimate, then I think you should tell them. But I think if you're, like, just going for dinner with someone or something, I don't think you necessarily have to tell them, because it could potentially make you unsafe until you know them better. I don't think they necessarily need to know, as long as you're not going to put them in a position that, like, a precarious position where they should be aware, if that makes sense. But I always tell people beforehand, because I don't want to take the risk of wasting my time, to be completely honest. I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to take the chance of someone becoming, like, aggressive or mean after finding out, or if they found out without me telling them first and they were annoyed or something like that, you know. I think that I prefer to tell people. So, as mentioned, I have a lot of skin allergies and psoriasis. So personally, I only really use Avene products, Garnier products, and Aveeno. I love Aveeno. Aveeno is really good for, like, just general moisturizing and stuff like that. So usually when I take my makeup off and stuff, mainly just to make because my face usually feels a bit hot after taking my makeup off, I will put on some Aveeno to just cool my face down and my neck, because, like I said, from having facial allergies, my face and stuff does not react very well to having stuff on my face, basically. How/when did you discover you were trans? Just so you guys know, I know you're saying, like, this is probably a personal question and stuff. On this stream, unlike my own streams, there really aren't any rules about what you can ask and what you can't ask, as long as it's not, like, really gross. Like, as long as you aren't being really inappropriate or really rude, you are allowed to ask questions. So don't worry, feel free to ask. And if I'm not comfortable with something, I won't answer it. I won't answer it. What is your opinion on people detransitioning? Because I know there's a lot of opinions on that. The actual factual percentage of people that detransition is very low. Most trans people are comfortable in their identity and don't detransition. However, if somebody wants to detransition, that is for them to decide. Did I just hear a Discord notification sound, or am I losing my marbles? Did you guys just hear a Discord notification sound? There's a chance I'm losing my marbles. Potentially. I think my phone might have done it because I had Discord closed, so it didn't distract me while I was streaming. All good. Alright, so I put my moisturizer on. I just put some Aveeno on. If I was going to go out, I would also be putting on my Garnier, at least 25 or 30 SPF. You can put a lower SPF on if your face isn't as prone to damage as mine is. But as you can see, I have quite a red, like a lot of red. Right now, this is a good day for my face. My face is having a good day right now. So it's just a bit red here and around and red here. And my neck gets quite red. Again, you can't really see because I'm having a good day today and my lighting's good in here. But on a bad day, it would be really bad normally and really painful and really gross. I have not had facial hair removal yet because the NHS have dragged their feet ridiculously, and so I'm just going to pay for it myself. But my appointment is not until January, and I have been on hormones now for 2 years, so, well, over 2 years, so it's a bit ridiculous that it's taken this long, but it's alright. For that reason, obviously, shaving causes rashing on your face, and so therefore my skin does not like it at all. So I have to think about that, which is why I put makeup on my neck as well. Hence the reason why you probably noticed I was wiping my neck clean, because I'm trying to be like authentic here and honest, even if it makes me feel a little bit nervous, so that I can give you guys the best possible support in this situation. I closed this card because I saw a murmur character thing. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not good. We'll look into that. I'm a lesbian, and I was wondering, how do I tell my boyfriend? Because I didn't really find out I was a lesbian until last month, and I don't know how to tell my boyfriend. So you're still in a relationship with him right now, but you've realised that you're a lesbian. I mean, that's a tough one. If you think you're, do you want to come out publicly? Do you feel safe to do so? Or would you rather just break up with your boyfriend without telling him why? I know that's more complicated, but I think it depends on whether or not you're willing for everyone to know, because depending on the type of person he is, I don't know him, you do, he may tell people that you're a lesbian after you tell him, and that might not go the way you're hoping. But I would like, I would hope that he wouldn't do that, but I mainly want to say, are you prepared for everybody to know? Otherwise, you might want to find a reason to break up with him that doesn't involve telling him that you're a lesbian. Do you grow your hair out? Yes, I do grow my hair out. I will take it down once I've done my makeup for you. Okay, so I have pre-wet my blending sponge already, and we're going to go step by step. I'll tell you what I use, how I do it, and stuff like that, and answer your question at the same time. As someone who is gender fluid, my gender varies consistently. However, I mostly feel feminine and prefer to sound that way, as it makes me feel more comfortable, even when I'm feeling masculine. So do you have any tips on how to make my voice less masculine without making it seem like I'm forcing my voice? So there are a lot of vocal coaching things you can get, especially online, like on YouTube and stuff, and they are very effective as long as you follow the regime. You probably will sound as if you are forcing it a little bit at first, but eventually it will become natural and people will be used to hearing it from you. So you'll feel a lot better. Now, little preface, normally I wear a shade darker in my foundation, but I have lost my usual foundation. And so I'm wearing the same brand, but a shade lighter. It's not ideal, but we'll have to just deal with it. So what I do when I'm doing my makeup after I put my moisturizer on to get started is, first things first, I use this product from Rimmel. It is their long-lasting Fix and Go, which is it's a spray primer and a spray setting spray. I do not like cream primers. I find them really annoying and frustrating on my face. So the first thing I do, thank you for following. The first thing I do is put on the spray primer. So I literally just spray my face with this first. This has been one of the best products I ever bought. For my face, personally, it just works very, very well. I love your nails. Thank you. I have this huge crush, and I really don't know how to tell them. I'm very scared. I am the queen of not telling people. This is a bit of a nerve-wracking one, and I recognise that it's scary, but you don't want to spend your whole life wondering what would have happened if you had told them, you know? So it's definitely a good idea to maybe consider telling them. But you have to weigh up your options. Is there anything they could do that's negative if you do? If you're at school, for example, will they tell people? I told somebody I liked them at school once, and they told everybody at school. It made me feel very embarrassed. But then I got over it really quick, and everyone got bored of it after a couple of weeks. And then, weigh up the pros and cons, I suppose. Have you had any transgender surgeries? Good question. I have not, but I am about to. So that's a very good question. In January, on the 6th of January, I believe it's the 6th of January. Let me confirm. Or that might be something else that's on the 6th of January. Correction. On the 3rd of January, I have got a consultation because I am going to be having breast augmentation, so breast enlargement. I will be... I mean, most people will probably know because I'll be kind of like off work for 2 weeks. I'll be able to stream for 2 weeks. There'll still be videos though, because I'll pre-record them, so I guess most people won't notice. But you know, yeah. So I will be. I just haven't yet. I have been on hormones though for a while, so like I've medically transitioned a while ago. I'm a lesbian. Sometimes my girlfriends suspect me of liking them. It's always obvious that they talk behind my back because of that misunderstanding. I don't know how to confront them about it. I don't feel comfortable keeping quiet. I've never understood this like strange thing about like, oh, my friend's a lesbian, that means she must like me. Girl, you're too full of yourself. I would just tell them straight up, I find you attractive. You know? And if you're going to be weird about it, then if they're going to be weird about it, I'd say to them, maybe I shouldn't be your friend, you know? So first things first, foundation. I'm going to be wearing my Il Maquillage foundation. This is a foundation I found from Instagram. And I am not one of those people usually who just like looks at Instagram things that come up on ads and buys them. But everyone was kind of raving about it. And I have to say, this shade does not really fit my face very well. So I wouldn't recommend getting this one. But they do a quiz with you. And after you answer the quiz, they like put you a shade that they feel will be best for you. I have to say it was very accurate. The shade that they chose for me is perfect for me and my face. I bought this lighter one because I put that on my neck because my neck is paler than the rest of my face. Problem is I've lost my usual shade, so I'm having to use the lighter one for everything today. So I'm going to put on some a darker powder. I use 2 powders. I always use the same one, the same Rimmel powder. I'm just using this in a slightly darker shade than the one I usually use just to darken the foundation. That's going to be a little bit too light. So, first things first, as I said, I will put foundation on. I would normally put on concealer first under my eyes and stuff, but my eyes, you can see, don't look very dark today. Like I haven't got super dark bags today, so I'll probably skip it. Now I'm using a wet blending sponge to put my makeup on. I don't like using brushes and I don't like using my fingers. Obviously, there is no one method that fits all. If you prefer to use your fingers or brushes, that's completely fine. You use your fingers or brushes. But as you can see, this is just a shade too light. So we're going to look a little bit Casper the Friendly Ghost, but that's alright. Do you have a makeup channel? I don't. I have a vlog channel, but I've considered doing makeup things on my vlog channel. I'm just not sure if people really want me to. If, like me, you have a cat who sheds a lot, don't do your makeup in your bedroom. Or in the room where the cat is. I sometimes feel like a woman, my biological gender, and sometimes I feel like a man. I did some research and it says that it's called gender dysphoria. Can someone tell me what it is? Good thing or bad thing? So I have gender dysphoria, diagnosed, and that is what that is essentially the fancy way of saying I'm trans. Basically, I don't feel comfortable in the gender I was assigned at birth, basically, and therefore I transitioned into the one that made me feel comfortable, because I feel comfortable as a woman 100% of the time. Now, you, by the sounds of it, based on the fact that you said that you don't always feel comfortable as your biological sex, but sometimes you do, sound more as though you might be fitting into more of a non-binary area, which could be, you know, gender fluid, for example, which are people who often feel very fluid in their gender identity. It changes quite regularly. Like day to day things can feel different, even hour to hour things can feel different depending on various different things that can affect their day. Also, lover girls, we have not forgot about the giveaway, don't worry, we'll be doing that shortly. We're trying to do the makeup and then we'll be doing it, don't worry. So yeah, there are various things that might change that. You could potentially, there's people who are bi-gender, for example, which is that they feel that they identify with both the male and female gender at the same time or on different days. There are all sorts of different things, and I would suggest doing a lot of like non-binary related gender research. You said, is it bad or is there something wrong? There's absolutely nothing bad about you. There's nothing wrong with you. We are all different and individual, and some of us feel differently than others, and we're just sort of, as a society, starting to get to grips with the fact that not everybody is the same, which is strange because, like, traditionally speaking, many old traditional communities, like Native American tribes, for example, have believed in, like, these type of gender identity, I guess, beliefs for a long time, but for some reason our modern society is very against it. Kind of similar to how being gay in, like, pre-Roman Empire, or even during Roman Empire, was very common and very well talked about. There is a lot of art out there that you can Google and see that represents gay people. But then there was a big movement at one point, led primarily by religion, that sought to criminalize gay people and claim that it was bad, basically. So a similar sort of thing happened with gender identity. We sort of went backwards for a while. And so, yeah. So I put my foundation on my neck. As you can see, I do it quite low. The reason for that is because I get rashing on my neck from shaving my face, obviously. And so I want to cover it up with foundation. But if you just cover up the actual neck part, then you get a big line, obviously, where your foundation stops. Unless you have a perfect match, which is hard to get. And so I put my makeup right down to the edge of my neck, so that my shirt then covers the line, basically. And you'll notice I don't ever really wear low-cut clothes because of that line being there. But it's not a huge issue. It's something I can deal with. I just like to have it covered up, if that makes sense. I found out I'm bi, and I don't know how to tell my family. They are very religious. It's really hard. Should I tell them or keep it a secret? I always say to people when they talk about coming out, the same thing. I always say, will you be safe? If there's no guarantee, you can't guarantee that you will be safe. If you think that there's a chance that your parents could throw you out or something like that, or put you in an unsafe position or abuse you, then I would say you should wait until you're in a better place, personally. That's just my opinion. So once your foundation is on, I'm going to set it. So normally, as I said, I would normally set it with this, which is the transparent Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. But because my foundation is so, pale, because I don't have the right shade right now, I'm going to use the Stay Matte one, but this is in shade 4 instead, which is called Sandstorm, just to darken my face up a little bit. I'm going to use my favourite powder brush, which is this one, which is a Morphe R2 brush. So Morphe R2. There we go. All these brushes have codes, so you can find them by searching them on the website. So this is Morphe R2. And then I'm literally going to bake the powder into my face. The point of this, for anyone who doesn't know, is that foundation is very shimmery and shiny, but also very wet, because it's on your face. It's liquid foundation. And so, obviously, it gets sticky and will rub on things and come off and things like that. And your face will feel wet and sticky. If you use powder and then bake the powder in, it dries the foundation, or sets the foundation, and stops it from being all wet and soggy, basically. I'm from your stream, B. Hi, Isabella. How you doing? What is your opinions on this? Sometimes when a child is curious about a person's different appearance and they question their parents about it, e.g. what happened to that lady, the parents usually shut them up. In my opinion, should allow the children to be open and ask the person themselves. Because if you keep them unaware, they might feel with differences should not be interacted with. I understand that about the not interacting with people, but what do you mean by with differences? Like, are we talking, like, for example, if you were coming up to someone, let's say, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, let's say there was an actress in the UK a good few years ago who was abused by an ex-partner who attacked her with acid, which caused her face really severe scarring and things like that. Do you mean like if a child came up to someone like that and saw that they looked a bit different because of like the thing they'd been through and then wanted to ask them and the parents shut them up and instead they should let them ask? Because in that type of situation, while I recognise that, yes, it would be good to educate the child, it might actually make the person feel really uncomfortable that someone is bringing it up or asking them. It might make them feel upset that somebody is acknowledging it. Because many people, like myself, when I'm out in public, I like to think that I just look like any other woman and people aren't going to be asking me questions about my gender identity in public because I've not told them that I'm trans. If I'm telling people I'm trans, or in a situation like this stream now, then naturally I am open to people asking me questions. But I wouldn't particularly like it if people were questioning me in public randomly. I would feel very uncomfortable by that. So, like, okay, you said, like, people with disabilities. I think a lot of people with disabilities, but especially visible ones, might feel very uncomfortable about you asking them without them then first giving you permission to ask. So I think a child going up to somebody and saying, like, hey, why do you look like that, is probably not going to have the effect that you think it might. I think it's probably going to actually upset the person instead. Okay, so once I have put the powder on and baked it in, I then set it again with my primer spray that I was telling you guys about. And I wait a minute for that to dry before I continue on. Has anyone won the diamond? We haven't pulled that yet. I love a girl. I already answered that question a minute ago. I said we were going to do it once I've done my makeup. Any advice for people who overthink? That's a good question. I overthink a lot. I am like queen overthinker. I overthink myself into oblivion, and it's really not ideal. So it's a hard question to answer, other than just breathing and trying to stay calm. I'm not really sure what else I could suggest because I am terrible for it also. Where did you learn trans makeup? I mean, I just learned women's makeup in general, and I watched some trans YouTubers, and they sort of told me how to, told on their videos how to adapt it, and then I just sort of adapted it myself for myself as well. But I am a big overthinker, but last year I overthought so much about a specific situation in my life that I lost something in my life because I overthought so much about it. And then coming out of that year, I realized like how much I regretted that, and so I this year really have pushed myself to try not to overthink too much. I know it's not as easy as that, but it has helped a little bit to sort of push me into not overthinking too much. Like I say, it's not as easy as that, I know, but it has helped. Alright, so my face has dried a little bit. I would say you have to try to not overthink so much that it causes like issues for your relationships, because there are people out there obviously that will stop wanting to communicate with you if you overthink too much about your relationships with them, which obviously would be very sad. So next up we're going to contour. Now I actually don't have a fancy contour palette or anything like that. Some people are going to be like, oh, I thought you were going to do something fancy probably, but I literally use one of the most basic drugstore like very, very affordable palettes ever for my contour. I use the W7 Lift and Sculpt. It's filthy because I've got mascara all over it, but I love this just simply because it just has the colours that I want. It's good enough for me. I'm not allergic to it. No complaints. So, some people like to contour with a brush. I do have contour brushes. I prefer to use a sponge. I'm literally going to take the dark shade inside of here off the sponge, and then I am going to take my mirror and I'm going to put it along my cheekbones, along my jawline, and around my head. Now, because I am trans specifically, a lot of women will contour their jawline quite heavily. You're not going to want to put too much darkened contour on your jawline for the reason that if you do, obviously it might make like grey shadows as a result of like remnants of facial hair or things like that. And this applies to men wearing makeup to be more visible. And if you don't want that to be visible, then obviously you don't want to apply too much on the jawline. So I just dot it. I don't like apply a lot. But on my cheekbones I go ham because I want them to look thin and snatched, and I want to look feminine, and feminine people usually have quite sharp cheekbones. My cheekbones are sharper now anyway as a result of the fact that I have been on hormones for a while, so the fat has redistributed there. But you want to accentuate that, you know? You want to accentuate it. So nice and high up, I'm going to take this darkened one and dot it along the cheekbone like this. And then just blend it out. What is therapy to you? For me, it's sketching. It could be singing, sleeping, listening to music. I love singing and stuff, even though I'm a terrible singer. But honestly, a lot of things that I used to find therapeutic in the past, I don't find therapeutic anymore for various reasons. So my therapy now is actual therapy. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. If you have any questions about the makeup, by the way, please feel free to ask. Feel free to ask. I don't know why I said that so weird. Now, the cream contour that I'm doing right now, I don't do this every day. I do this when I'm gonna look, I want to look nice on my stream, or if I'm feeling particularly bad about my face or myself that day and I want to look a bit thinner, things like that. But I don't do cream contour every day. I powder contour every day, but when I cream contour, because I want to look fancy, I still powder contour as well on top of it. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. And then I'm gonna go along the forehead up here, so right along the edge and down. People always say you should look like it should be like a 3, so like that basically. You should be able to see that accentuating the shadows already makes your face look thinner. And then, like I said, I just dot some along my jaw. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze, I either squeeze my sponge in nice and thin on the end, or you can use a brush instead. It is easier to do this with a brush, but I am lazy. So I'm going to go ahead and do both and get the sponge, dot it, squeeze it so it's nice and thin, and then just along, so on the top edge of your nose right here, you want to do it darkened along the edge like this. But not across the bridge of the nose and not at the sides, where the shadow naturally hits the face. And then once I've done that, I do refine it a bit. So I grab my Morphe brush. This one is Morphe V103, this brush. And I just literally grab it and just along the edges, just to blend that contour out. And then you're going to want a little bit underneath and on the top, on the edge, across the edge there. Then, going to grab the light coloured contour and along the bridge of the nose and along these edges at the sides of the nose, and then use a clean part of the brush, the sponge, to then blend that out. Basically what this is going to do, it's just going to contour your nose, which makes your face look a lot thinner and your nose look smaller, basically. It sort of just makes the natural shadows look more intense, if that makes sense, that your face already has. Just a small story, I think I'll make them smile, because it was very funny to me. Both of my parents are very religious, and me and my dad went to an LGBTQ+ store that had candles. I picked up a rainbow fan and was immediately told to put it down. But while in the store, I bought a non-binary earring set and handheld asexual flag and passed it as just pretty colours. When my parents asked what it was, honestly, 8 nails. I'm assuming that means like you got nervous. The cashier was very kind and understanding. We stand him. Oh, that's really sweet. What do you think about Gyaru style makeup? If you don't know what it is, you should Google it. Not a clue. Let me Google it. Let's have a look. That makeup looks like it is like one of those like Japanese appropriation of culture kind of things, where usually Asian people tend to wear that makeup, and if I did it, it would probably be cultural appropriation. So alright, so then with the lighter colour again, You're going to go along the top of your cheekbones above the darkened part like this. Brighten up that top part of your face. As you can see, it just makes you like shimmery. And then I also like to grab some of the lighter one and put it under my eyes. Because it makes your eyes look really bright and makes you look way less tired. And then I grab some and put it in this gap. And in this one. Hi people that have just come in, how are you guys doing? Welcome. And then across the top of your forehead. And across the top of your forehead on this side. Then you want to blend it all together. And then, after I've done that, I take my powder contour. So, it's not actually a powder contour. What I use is bronzer and highlighter. So, put these to the side when I've used them so that I can show you guys what's next. I hadn't decided if I was going to do eyeshadow today. Would you guys like me to do eyeshadow too? Do you believe in ghosts or paranormal stuff? Somewhat. Somewhat. James, do you want to go ahead and tell people that we're going to pull it? And tell them they have to be in here to win in the next, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. So what I do, I'm going to grab this this bronzer is what I'm using at the moment. This is Bronze Glow. Bronze Glow in light terracotta. That's the colour. By Collection. You can see I use it a lot. Thanks, James. And then I use this like bamboo style brush. This is not a particular brush. It's just like a eco-friendly bamboo brush. And it's just like a big powder brush. Grab this and I just bronze along my cheeks. Mainly to blend out that contour. If I'm just going out, like grocery shopping or whatever, I just do this. I don't put the cream one on. And then along the top of my head. And a little bit along the jaw. And then I will get a thinner brush too. And just along the edges of my nose. Like that. And then I take my big powder brush that I was talking about earlier, my Morphe R2 brush, and just blend it. Like that. And then I'm going to take my Rimmel Maxi Blush. I used to use Milani, but I'm really liking this one at the moment. This one is in third base. That's the colour. Shade 1 third base. And I literally take this, again, with another bamboo brush that's got like a poofy end. And just go along the top of my cheekbone. Just add some of the pink back to your face. Like that. And then once again, I'll go over it with my powder brush. Just to blend. And then just using a standard highlight fan brush, literally any fan brush you like. I'm going to use Rimmel's Highlight. This is in shade Stardust, which is number 1. I'm literally going to take this, put some under my eyes. And then this is where you get your sparkle. So across here. Do you ever want to try a different makeup style? If so, what style? I try new ones all the time. Even if I don't show them publicly, I do try them. On top of your lips here, you want some on the forehead across there. And then under your eyebrow. And just slightly above your eyebrow to give you a bit more shimmer. Now, depending on how much you want to shimmer, depends on how much you want to put on. I like to shimmer, but if you have really dry skin or if you have acne around the areas, you probably don't want to put a highlight powder on top of acne or scars or textured skin because it will massively accentuate it. It will make it so much more obvious. So, for any giveaways we do on my channel, you've got to enter them on my channel by doing it. So I just want to tick up in the chat. But then we are announcing the winners on this stream. Right, 1 second. Sorry, I'm just doing another tag on my Discord. I know it's going to annoy people, but I really, really, really want the community to know about this stream and come support, because I think it's a really important stream for a lot of people. Just take a picture to put alongside it. Okay. Now, do my eyebrows. At the moment, I am using, I just got this recently, this is L'Oreal's Brow Artist Sculpt. And this is in shade Blonde, #1. And it's literally a spoolie with a little, like, lick of, like, brown paint, basically. So what you're going to do, hi, thank you for following, is use the end to just fill the gaps of your eyebrows in. Like any bits that I'm missing, like colour or any like patches. Thanks for following. And then use the spoolie, which is the brush part, to just brush your eyebrows across and slick them out. And making them a bit more bushy, a bit more refined. I don't really pluck my eyebrows a lot. I just sort of use like those little razor blades you can buy to just shave around the edges. And I don't really shape my eyebrows much because I'm lazy and I don't hate my own eyebrows. Like I'm fine with my eyebrows as they are. Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions that are LGBTQ+ related or about me or about anything, you can ask them. This channel does not have the same rules that my own channel has, so you are free to ask. If something makes me uncomfortable, I won't answer it obviously, but you won't get banned for asking either. Do you have experience of being outed without permission? I do. At first, I had come out to one person and it spread to my brother. Luckily, he was accepting. A bit pushy with asking my name and getting to change my look. Thought I looked a mess, but thanks, bro. So things turned out well in that regard, even though he ignores it now. But I still felt so violated by it. I dodged the topic a whole bunch. What else should I have done in the situation? It's a really awful situation when someone outs you, and it's very disappointing, and I don't really know what to do in the situation. When it happened to me last, I just sort of panicked, to be honest. This song's called Invincible, and it's from No Copyright Sounds. Thank you, Didi, I appreciate it. So, do you guys want me to do eyeshadow? I could do, so sometimes I do like really fancy eyeshadow with like multiple colors, like greens and blues or things like that. And sometimes I just do like normal standard eyeshadow, because we're kind of just doing like my daily makeup routine kind of vibes here. What would you like? Do you want a fancy eyeshadow, or do you want just like a nude brown eyeshadow? What would you say? What would you say? How old were you when you started transitioning? I started transitioning when I was 17. If we do fancy, then are you thinking? I don't think I want to do reds, because I don't really want to wear red lipstick for this look. So I'm thinking maybe green. I like my green eyeshadow look a lot. So it's going to be either, let's say, green or like a nude brown. So we go for like a nude brown or green. You guys just say nude or say brown or say green in chat, and I'll see which of you guys suggest the most. I think James, I don't know if he already has done the giveaway or if he's doing it in a few, but we'll sort that too soon. Green, 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 green. Okay. I made a different palette. Give me a sec. Alright. So for this then, we are going to use the Morphe. Oh yeah, no problem, James, no rush. Just checking. We're going to use the Morphe X Nyani palette. This palette is gorgeous. Has so many beautiful colours in it. And we are going to be using the Morphe X Nyani brushes. The first one I'm going to use is FF4. And the second one is R37. R37 is not from the Nyani set of brushes, but it is nice. Alright, I'm going to use the colour YouTube as the base colour. What store do you go to get your makeup? I order all of my makeup online, honestly. Or I go to Boots if you're in the UK. I'm in a very religious family. My brother clearly told me that he does not want me to date a girl. I'm kind of in a shell, and since I now have to come out of the closet to my friends as bisexual, I don't know how to tell my family. It would really depend on if you're going to be safe. That's the main thing. If you don't know for sure that you're going to be safe if you come out, you definitely would want to probably wait until you're in a position where you can move out, because you obviously don't want to end up being thrown out or abused or something like that if that's something that could happen to you. I would not want something like that to happen. So it's important that you recognise whether or not you are safe. If you think you would be safe and your family would just maybe make things mildly uncomfortable and you're willing to like deal with that, that's up to you. But you know, it's a really complicated situation. Being safe and home, like having a home and being fed and be warm is the most important thing, really. And if you think that those things could be challenged if you came out, then you may not want to yet. Alright, now I'm going to use the other brush I mentioned to do the She Bad colour, which is like a light green on top. This brush is also really good for blending the colour out. I'm an aspiring clothing creator. And in real life, if I ever do make your winter gala dress and showed it to you, would that take a while as I'm still learning? Would you ever want one? In real life, you'd have to get Matt's permission, but that would be amazing. Could you tell me what queer means? So queer is kind of a word that has been reclaimed by the LGBTQ+ community. It was mainly used before, because the original definition of queer is like weird or strange. So it was used before as a derogatory term for like LGBTQ+ people. A lot of LGBTQ+ people have reclaimed the word and now use it to describe themselves, essentially to stop other people from being able to use it as an insult, but also now a lot of people actually like to use the word as a way to describe how they're feeling about certain things, such as people who are genderqueer. very lucky that my mum supports the community. She lets me buy flags and understands me, and I hope people here come out for safe experience. That's really good, Abby. I'm really glad to hear that. Do you guys have any other questions? You are allowed to ask personal ones. I just won't answer them if I don't feel comfortable. You are welcome to ask them. If I miss a question, please feel free to resend it. What is gender fluid? They are people who identify with a gender identity that essentially has a lot of fluidity. Like, it changes. Like, some days they might feel more masculine, some days they might feel more feminine, some days they might feel more neutral. It's a non-binary identity. Alright, so now we've done the eyeshadow and the eyebrows. What we're going to do next is put the palette to a side. When I wear green eyeshadow, actually like to go ahead and grab my blending sponge again and my cream contour. If I can find where I put the sponge, that is. Where did I put it? I swear, guys, I am like... I have something stealing things from my house, because my foundation went missing recently, and now my blending sponge has vanished. Oh, I found it, okay. So now I'll grab my light coloured contour, and I just like to pat it into the corner of my eyes to lighten up the corners. I think the brightened up corners just look really cool. So that I just lightened it up a little bit using the contour, basically. And once we find a winner, James, they can open a ticket if that's alright, so I can handle it later. Are you planning to move outside the country one day? That's a good question. I don't know. It would depend on the opportunities that I have that send me out of it. Okay. Next up, I am going to do some eyeliner. So any standard eyeliner will work. I'm going to use a marker eyeliner today because it's got like a thick end. Once I figured out what I've got in my eye. There we go. And I'm just going to do it on my top lids. I like just doing it on my top lids sometimes. Bottom lids are cool too, but sometimes I like to just do it on the top. Okay. No notifications? What? What happened? Did you send bits on my players? Thank you. There are supposed to be notifications. We tested them. I tested them with a person and they worked. And the follow ones are working. What's going on? Well, thank you, La Mama Plays. So I'm just going to do eyeliner on just the top lashes. On the top lids. Okay. There we go. And then I'm gonna put on some mascara. This is my favorite mascara right now. This is the Wonder Volume Thrill Seeker by Rimmel. It's a little red tube. I really love this because it does some really big ones. Do you ever feel confused about your gender before coming out? I think you're really confused about yours. I think at first it is very confusing. I sort of flip-flop through some ideas. It's hard at first when you're trying to figure it out. You don't like just know, if you know what I mean. I think eventually something comes along and just sort of clicked in my head, and I was like, that's me. But I was very scared at first. And worried that I was wrong, or oh no, I just printed my mascara on my face because I shook poop. Like, I've had, you know, I've worried before and I panicked. It does happen. I hate it when you accidentally like get mascara on your face and you have to fix your makeup. It's so annoying. Okay. Thanks for following, everyone. I appreciate it. Have you ever had experiences dating as a bad experience dating as a trans person? You had a bad experience dating a guy where he pretended I was a girl because I haven't transitioned yet and because my personality is girly. Ew, yuck. I have, yes. And it sucks. But I've had bad experiences dating in general, not just because I'm trans, but just in general. But I have been, not necessarily dating, but I've been in a position with someone where, like, they definitely saw me as a male and sort of like utilize that, I guess, to try and make themselves feel more comfortable. I think dating in general as a trans person is quite scary. I actually have a vlog on my vlog channel about that. Maybe that's what I should be doing. Maybe I should just be doing a lot more trans related vlogs. I run out of topics to discuss because I don't know what people actually want to know. Unless people ask, you know. I actually did record a 2 years on hormones vlog. I just haven't got around to editing it yet. When it comes to relationships, I'm very complicated. Relationships really freak me out because I have really bad commitment issues. And so, usually when I'm either in a relationship or sense one budding, I panic and start to feel really suffocated really quickly and I run away. I'm going to therapy for this. At the moment. I'm a very independent person and just in general, relationships just really frighten me. And I hate feeling pressured. And often when I like talk to people, like if you start, say you're in like a budding relationship or whatever, if they start advancing really quickly, start like talking to you in a certain way like really quickly, or telling you things that they like about you really fast, you know, things like that, it freaks me out really, really quickly. And I start to panic really, really bad. Like when people start telling you they love you like really early and things like that, that starts to freak me out really bad. People like making you feel like you can't be away from them or they can't handle being away from you freaks me out really bad. I don't like feeling like someone relies on me that heavily, if that makes sense. That freaks me out. Because I don't feel like I can rely on myself. Never mind other people relying on me, you know? And it's really horrible, but it makes me feel really smothered really quickly. And I will usually run. I'll have days where I feel okay about it and like I'm handling it well. Then I'll have days like today where like if somebody today like said any of those things to me, I would freak out and ignore them like 100% because I just don't feel good enough about myself today for someone else to require like to tell me about how good I make them feel, you know? And that sounds really stupid and hard to explain. A lot of people who don't have like commitment issues or relationship related issues don't understand that. But I had a very complicated like childhood, and I've had complicated relationships in the past that have made me very nervous. And so people like showing an interest in me and relying on me or putting pressure on me really, really panics me. And over time, I'm British, guys. I'm British. I live in the UK. Over time, people who I've been in relationships with, and like the experience I've had with them have kind of made it worse because I don't handle pressure very well. If that makes sense. And being put under pressure by people that I'm dating really panics me. I freak out really bad. And I am not in a relationship currently. I don't think I will ever be in one unless I go to therapy and deal with this like commitment issue thing, because it makes me run away from everybody that shows an interest in me. Oh, I forgot to say, the lipstick I'm wearing is Maybelline in shade 930 Nude Embrace. Yeah, I'm British, guys. I'm in the UK. I live in the UK. I'm from the UK. I am British. I'm English specifically. I have never ever said that I live in Australia. I have never been to Australia in my life. I have never told anybody that I live in Australia. I have never been to Australia in my entire life. If anybody asks me, I will always say as well that I am not able to go to Australia easily, because to fly to Australia you usually stop in places like Qatar or Dubai, and it's illegal to be trans there, so I can't go there. British is only from the UK. No, British is from England, Wales, or Scotland. Because Northern Irish people are still from the UK, but they're Irish, not British. Yeah, and I don't like bugs, exactly, bruh. I do not like bugs. So I wouldn't handle Australia very well. Alright, so my makeup is done. To finalise, I will then spray the setting spray that I used before back on my face. That just sets the makeup and gives it a nice little shimmer. Now we'll do my hair. I have not washed my hair in like 3 days, so it's not gonna go very well. But we'll go for it, guys. Hi, Queen Toasted. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Push out the bangs. I like having bangs because they help cover my forehead. I do have quite a large forehead. You don't see my cat? He's right there. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't go to like places in the United Arab Emirates. It's illegal to be trans there. And I do know a trans YouTuber who was detained when she arrived there. So I personally would not want to take the risk. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. I'm glad you're doing well. Okay. So you guys probably know by now, I don't often wear my hair down. I only do it when I'm going somewhere. But when I do, is what I usually do. I haven't washed it in a few days, so it's a little bit eh. But what I more commonly do is what's detained. It means like arrested and held, basically, in like a cell. What I more likely do with my hair, because I'm not a fan of having it down all the time, especially not when I'm streaming, because then like your hair gets in your ears. I usually tie it up in like various ways. So today I had it up in like a bun at the top. I like to put my hair in a bun, but I don't know where my bun thing is that I usually use. So today I'm going to put it in like a side thing like that and just have it fan out. And then sometimes I'll pull like strips out. Like, I'll show you. I wasn't going to do it because I know it's going to blow in my face, but sometimes I'll just like brush along the sides just to like pull some of the strips out. Because then it contours your face a little bit, gives it a little bit of shape. Which obviously if you're trying to feminize your face, anything that gives you shape is going to be helpful. So I'll like pull it out like that, so that it gives your face a little bit of shape around the sides. And yeah. I live here and it's legal. No, it's not. Oh, in Australia. Yeah, it's legal to be trans in Australia. It's not legal to be trans in Dubai and Qatar. And if you're from the UK and you fly to those places, you will usually stop off in those countries first because the flight would be too long to go straight to Australia. So you have to stop in like Qatar or Dubai and places like that and change to a new flight. And that you're not allowed to, it's illegal to be trans in those countries. So it makes it difficult to go to Australia. I would love to live in Canada. I love snow and cold weather. Okay, so that's what I do with my makeup. Any questions? Just gonna tag. You want to know. So you can ask me questions about makeup, you can ask me personal questions, you can ask about LGBT stuff if you want to. And I'll do my best to answer because you now have my full attention now that I am not doing my makeup anymore. Alright, let me have a look at the chat and see what you guys are saying. It sucks here because it never snows. At least you can. At least that means you can drive all year round without complication. You're in New Orleans. Cool. You inspire me so much. You're so beautiful. Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. I don't have to wear makeup myself, but when seeing you share tips and things was really nice. Thank you, Toddy. I appreciate that. What is your foundation? If you mentioned it, I didn't hear. It's called Il Maquillage. I-L and then some way of spelling maquillage. M-A-K-I-A-G-E, I think. Off topic, but have you ever thought about a Roblox art contest? I have. I just haven't. We haven't just done it yet, but we do want to. Aw, congrats, Logic. Are you an indecisive person? If sure, was your decision towards such difficult? I am an indecisive person. Good question. I am an indecisive person. But it was more difficult about deciding to transition because I was afraid that I would regret it. I had like so many fears because people constantly tell you, thanks logic, people constantly tell you you're going to regret it and that is a bad idea and blah blah blah. So I had a lot of fears about it. Turned out it was fine, and this was the best decision I've ever made for myself ever. So can confirm was a good choice. What's your favorite part about makeup? I love that you can do all sorts with it. You can end up looking completely different. You can try so many different things. I love that there's so many options, and I love makeup. I could literally spend forever just doing makeup. Thank you, Ray. I love the snow. I've always wanted to go to Vancouver, maybe live there or just visit. It does look beautiful, but expensive. How often do you trim your bangs so they don't get too long? I have my hair cut every 8 weeks. Anyway, so I just get ahead to trim them then. Right now, they're actually cut so that they're meant to be more like curtain bangs, like this. They've actually been cut to be more like curtain bangs, but because they're not quite long enough yet for that, I still sort of put them over like this. So they are a bit too long to be like this now, but I still kind of put them over the front until I'm just letting them grow a little bit to turn more into curtain bangs, if that makes sense. Like that. What was that? Is that Discord? Alright. Everyone tries to tell me transitioning is the worst thing, and I'm like, it feels freaking amazing. I am so glad I transitioned. There is literally nothing that could ever make me go back. I wish I could go back to like 15-year-old me and tell myself that it was going to be okay. I had the influence back then of another trans person who was making me feel really bad at the time by telling me that things I felt didn't make me like trans enough. And so I doubted myself heavily because of them, and it affected me really bad. For example, in particular, this one particular friend that I had kept consistently saying that if I didn't want to have surgery, which at the time I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wasn't sure that I necessarily needed surgery to feel comfortable, that I wasn't really trans, and that transitioning would be a mistake. And that made me feel really scared because I was like, okay, another trans person is telling me that this is not what I am. And that frightened me. And made me and held me back, if that makes sense. So I wish I could go back in time and tell myself not to listen to that person. My sexuality is complicated. That's usually what I say when people ask, because I don't really know. I know I like men, but I don't know how else. Like I don't. I've dated women before, but it doesn't usually... The thing is, it doesn't usually feel right when I've dated women, but then at the same time, dating doesn't feel right for me anyway. Because I have really bad commitment issues and anxiety. I am having my first surgery in... Well, I go for my consultation in a week. So therefore, the surgery will hopefully be within the next couple of months. Bye, Capri. Have fun. Yeah, there's no one way to be trans, exactly. Everyone's unique and everyone's different. And you may feel different in various different ways. And it's important that you just feel comfortable in yourself. And, you know, however that might be. That's what's most important. So don't listen to people. You need to figure it out for yourself and who you are. Do you tell people you're trans before dating them? Yes. Only because I don't want anyone to waste my time. And also I don't want to put myself in an unsafe position. My parents always make references towards me being overweight, but whenever I try any workouts I'm used to, I just cannot keep going and stick with it after the first day or two. I know I'm overweight, but I cannot stick to the plan. I find it hard to cut down the amount of food I eat. Do you have any advice and tips? I am exactly the same as what you just described, and it does affect me, my mental health, quite a lot. It's really tough. It does not help though if people like your parents are making you feel bad about it, and I'm really sorry. I think that the first step is learning to love who you are, because even if you lose weight, if you don't learn to love who you are, you're still not going to be happy, you know? I think that's what's most important, is finding a way to appreciate who you are, so that if you do choose to change, it doesn't negatively impact your mental health more and then result in you feeling bad because you don't feel any better. Like if you change, for example, but then don't feel any better afterwards, that might make your mental health worse, you know? Thanks, Gamer Girl, appreciate it. Any tips on how to tell your friend it's okay if you're bi and I'm proud if I have to tell in our group? I would say exactly what you just said. I would say, just so you know, I think it's wonderful that you were open with us and that you're comfortable to tell us how you feel, and that we accept you and we love you. I think that's a great thing to tell your friend. What surgeries do you want to have, and are you scared if you might miss those parts / you regret it? Currently my only plan is to have breast enlargement, which is going to be soon. I don't have any plans for anything else right now, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about having bigger boobs. I think I'll manage. I've been trans for a year, but I haven't told my parents yet out of fear, and I haven't changed my appearance. At least some friends know. What should I do? So talking to your family about these things is gonna depend on if you feel like you will be safe. This is the most important thing, is making sure that you're safe. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you could be potentially unsafe. I think that's really important. So if you don't know for sure if your parents could put you in an unsafe position, such as, you know, be abusive or throw you out or something like that, then you may want to consider whether or not you want to tell them, at least immediately, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you could end up being unsafe, if that makes sense. If you think you will be safe and that there's a chance that your parents are accepting of LGBTQ plus people, then it just comes down to mustering up the strength to telling them, really. Yeah, I would always make sure that you know you're safe and that you're comfortable. I actually had an argument yesterday with my family. It was more about how I feel and what I feel like. Only you can know that. Only you can know how you feel. Are you sometimes more masculine than feminine? No. There was a time period where I felt like that, but especially recently, no, I'm quite feminine all the time. Sometimes I'll wear like more neutral androgynous clothing, but I always like to feel feminine. I always want people to refer to me as feminine, with feminine words, and treat me in a feminine way. Like if I'm dating, for example, I hate it if somebody treats me like I'm in a more masculine role. I like to be treated feminine all the time. Did you ever think you might be abrasexual? I noticed you used one of the few abrasexual fabric designs that were added to Raw High this summer. I'm abrasexual, and it took me years to figure that out because it was so hard to remember how I used to feel, so I would just assume that I didn't know how I felt before instead of realizing that my orientation was changing over time. What does that mean? I used the texture by accident, because I don't know what that means. My sexuality is certainly fluid. Is that what it means? Because, yeah, my sexuality has changed a lot over the years. When you take hormones and transition, they do tell you that your sexuality can change. You are swapping your sex hormones from your primary one being testosterone to your primary one being estrogen. I didn't know what abrosexual was, and I'm reading it, and literally it sounds exactly like me. This is what I mean, by the way, about exploring who you are. When you read about something and it just clicks in your head and you're like, this sounds exactly like me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this sounds like me, alright. You don't have to respond, but it's really appreciated. I really love your live streams. My BF ever looked up to you, really thinks you're good at advice and you're the best and you'll never let someone tell you otherwise. Oh, thank you, Cats. Appreciate that. Yeah, Queen of Shred. Anyone who says that it can't is lying. Of course changing your sex hormones can affect your sexuality. If there's any stores or places online to buy androgynous clothes, so many, Eden. I don't know on top of my head because I don't specifically try to buy them, but if you search for androgynous clothing stores and then put like where you live, you will probably find some really specific things that are useful. Yeah, it basically says that your sexuality can change over time. Like one day you might be straight and the next day you're bisexual, maybe you're pansexual sometimes. I would say that it fits me in the sense that I'm always attracted to men, but only sometimes I feel attracted to women, and then other like gender identities. And I certainly go through phases where I don't feel like sexually attracted to anyone, and kind of don't want anyone to touch me at all. I told my grandma I was trans last year and her reaction was bad. I'm now just gender fluid, and on Christmas my mom said she'll accept us for who we are, she just didn't know about grandma. I think that gave me a bit more confidence to tell my mom that I'm gender fluid and I want to look a bit like a boy. I've been in the LGBTQ+ community for 3 years now and I still kind of can't build up the confidence to say anything because my family has expectations for me. Skylar, I would say that everybody's family has expectations for them, and it's never easy when parents have to deal with the fact that their expectations for their children are not going to always be the same, that they change. I understand how tough that can be, but you've got to be true to yourself. If you don't feel comfortable sharing that with them though, it's okay to wait until you're in a better position. I see, Jess. It's interesting. Thank you for sharing that. When you put it like that, it kind of feels like how I feel. Well, look at us discovering things together. Like I said, I have really bad commitment issues, and I really am afraid of being in relationships because I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of people relying on me. I'm afraid of relying on them too heavily. I'm afraid of a lot of things. I'm also afraid of being alone or someone leaving me after I've become attached to them, because a lot of people in my life have done that. So I am scared of... Oh my god, why do I feel like I'm gonna cry? I am scared of becoming like too attached to somebody and falling in love with somebody and then them hurting me or leaving, or them being like... Because I know I get really bad separation anxiety and I know that annoys people. And so I'm afraid of them becoming annoyed by my, like, reliance on them, if that makes sense, and not wanting to be alone. And so much so that I just avoid it entirely. But I also, when other people rely on me, feel really suffocated and really panic. And I can't express enough how damaging it is to my mental health when people do that to me. And I try to be, like, super clear with anybody now. Like, if I'm ever going to date anyone, or ever going to see anybody, or just go out for dinner with somebody, for example, I try to be really, really clear that, like, I can't handle people, like, jumping the gun. And... like, does that make sense? I can't handle it. Like, I've had people before that are just talking to me, and, like, they've made it clear they have feelings to me, but we're not, like, dating. They're just, like, talking to me, you know? British people say talking. I don't know what Americans say, because we don't really say dating here. Like, talking is kind of like when you're, like, I guess dating multiple people, just, like, going out for dinner with people, like, exploring things. Like, you're not in a relationship, you're not exclusive, just, like, talking to people, right? And... so we don't say dating here, so we call it talking to people. I've had people in that position where they've, like, started to say things like, they'll joke and be like, I'll say a joke or something, they'll laugh, and then they'll laugh back and be like, oh, I love you. Like, they're laughing and saying they love you because they think you're funny, but then they'll be like, I love you, and I'll be like, what did you just say? Like, that freaks me out. That really terrifies me, right? And it's strange because, like, yeah, the talking state, exactly. Like, it's terrifying because I know that I want to get married one day. I want to have a family. I want to settle down and stuff. But I don't think I can. I think I'm genuinely in a position where I won't be able to ever be married or in a relationship that's long term because I am afraid of people, like, being attached to me. And it makes me feel really suffocated. Like someone's holding a pillow over my face and I can't breathe. And I have to, like, get out of that situation as fast as possible. So all of my relationships have ended really early, except for one, because I usually panic and run away from them as fast as physically possible. I don't know how to explain it to people. This is one of those streams where I thought I was going to, like, have lots of you guys being really honest and open, but now I've just realised that I am. I don't like to be open like this on my own channel because I don't like to scare people off, and my content is mainly for kids, of course. But, like, I don't know how to tell people that either. Like, I don't know how to express it to people because there'll be days where, like, I have no anxiety about it and I'm like, oh, I just love being close to you and I love spending time with you and I like, really enjoy your company. But then there's days when my anxiety's like, no, get out of there now, run as fast as you can and stay far away. Do not let them in. Like, you know what I mean? So, you have something else because everybody's comfy to talk about their feelings and their situations. You're awesome. Oh, thank you. I really want you guys to feel comfortable to talk about it. I don't want any of you to feel pressured. I often feel pressured and don't talk about my feelings. So I'm scared of upsetting the other person or the other people. And so I don't tell them how I'm feeling or what's making me, what my worries are, because I don't want them to become upset. I am too much of a people pleaser for my own good. And so I don't tell them enough, or maybe I feel like I don't, but maybe I actually did. And then they'll say or do things that really frighten me. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they, like, make it clear that they are really committing to me, I am just gonna run for the hills. It's gonna freak me out. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna panic. You know? That's the thing, I think. I think it's the moment I know or notice that someone is committing to me, I'm like, I gotta go. You know? I don't know how that happened to me. I wasn't aware because I never really have experience with having many friends. So it did happen and ended up heartbroken. I see. I feel the same way. Like, I'd show them me, and I know if I end up actually liking them and go out with them, I wouldn't cheat or intend to hurt, but I'm worried towards the guy's side whether he'd do the same or it would be just one-sided. Feel that. I feel like the I love you can be used in so many different ways. It just makes me freeze up, even from family members. Trippy Rat, I feel you. Like, when your friends say I love you to you, I used to say I love you to my friends all the time, but after a bad experience with somebody, I stop, how do I describe it? I stopped saying it because after a bad relationship, it made me feel nervous about ever giving that to somebody else again, like giving my love to people, if that makes sense. And now when people talk to me and tell me they love me, it freaks me out. It doesn't matter who it is. My parents and my family, not so much. Like, I can cope with that. For a while, I found it hard, but I'm okay with that again. But when friends or people I'm talking to tell me they love me, my head just goes, what is going on? Like, it freaks out. It's nice to have people who feel similarly. It's nice, to be honest, it's nice for me to hear that other people feel similar. Because I've been too nervous to ever talk about this with anyone. I don't tell anybody about this, really. So it's nice that other people understand and feel the same. I'm talking to this guy and we talk about us possibly being in a relationship, and he says he doesn't see me in that way, but he's like flirting with me and other stuff like that. I understand. I've had people in my life that I've enjoyed flirting with, but not necessarily wanted to be in a relationship with them, if that makes sense. But you need to make your intentions very clear. He's made his intentions clear to you, and now you need to make it clear if you're comfortable with that. If you're not comfortable with him flirting with you because you want something more, but he doesn't want something more, then you want to get out of that situation fast, because otherwise you're going to get yourself hurt. You know? Should do an advice stream where you tell people that are in a bad situation because you're good at it. Well, I guess that's what these streams are for. We're going to be talking about different LGBT topics every stream, but that's kind of what they're for. You guys can ask me questions, I can talk about them, we can give advice, we can chat. I think one of my biggest fears as well is when I talk about this, I don't want people who've experienced situations with me to think, oh god, I've probably hurt her or played her panic or upset her, I need to apologize. Because then as soon as I know that they do that, I'm gonna feel really bad for making them worried, you know? So then I just ultimately think, I just won't tell anybody. Many of my friends have had like at least one boyfriend in their life, and I haven't because I haven't found someone. I'm not allowed to date till 16 anyway, but I've had them ask me why I haven't tried. I just reply if it takes time to find the one. If you're young, you don't need anyone, and high school like relationships and like young relationships don't last anyway. So like, you know, experience life, go traveling, you know, find out what it's like to be on your own. Trust me, because I didn't get the chance to find out what it's like to be alone, and now that I am alone for the first time, properly alone, I was terrified. I was so afraid. So afraid. Like, I can't even tell you. I spent, like, I don't know how to describe it. I spent so long with, like, this person and these people in my life that I spent every single day with. I had like a group of friends that I spent all my time with, and then last year I started to spend a lot of time with people as well, and then I had to come to terms with being alone for the first time in 2021 and in 2020, well, in 2022 mainly. I've had to come to terms with being alone a lot more, and then I had like a negative experience with somebody who this year took advantage. I'm just gonna say took advantage of me in a situation. I don't want to go into detail because I've never actually really said it out loud, and I don't really want to. I've never this particular situation I'm talking about. Because I know some of my friends watching could be like, I know about this. They don't. I've never told anybody about this. I feel a bit uncomfortable talking about it. But I was in a situation a little while ago where someone took advantage of me in a way that I don't want to talk about, and since then, I have just been really afraid of people, and like afraid of going outside, and afraid of being around people, and I'm terrified people like talk to me in certain ways. And also, similarly, it's made me really nervous when people raise their voice at me and stuff too, or get annoyed with me, and I get really defensive now. So I'm sorry, cats. I'm really sorry. It's kind of hard though, because he was a friend for a really long time. We liked each other before, but then we kind of drifted, and he's really nice too. I get it. I totally understand. But you do have to think about what you want and what's going to happen. And if he doesn't want what you want, then there's a good chance you're going to end up in pain. So just make sure you bear that in mind. Best thing you can do is move forward even if it's a different path. Yeah, I guess. It's just hard. That's why I'm going to therapy. To try and deal with those things. Thanks, Serious Bean. I kind of just work my life away now so that I don't think about this stuff too much. Because then it just makes me sad. I'm alone this year because my husband passed away in September. And it's just me and my little dog. My daughter lives in another state. So Roxanne, I remember you. I didn't know the situation, but I know you mentioned that you missed your husband. I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry to hear that. I can't imagine how that must feel, especially after presumably being together for such a long time. It sounds really, really difficult, and I'm really sorry. And I can't imagine it's easy living so far away from your daughter too. I assume relocation isn't on the cards. Or on the table, I suppose. I know that's not easy either. But I keep hearing my thoughts. I'm sending lots of love to you as well. That reminds me, somebody asked me if I'm ever going to play Minecraft again. We've opened our sub server back up, and I do plan on playing some Minecraft again soon on stream. So, most friends are temporary and life lessons. When you find your forever friends, it makes things different. Just remember, you will always have us. Me, I love you so much. Oh, thank you, Straight to 5. I appreciate that. Do you have any advice on starting therapy? I want to get a therapist, but I have too much anxiety to start talking to somebody. Best advice I can give about starting therapy: don't settle on the first therapist. If you don't like them, that's okay. Most people, it takes a while to find the right one. It takes some time to find a good therapist. Therapists are hard to come by that work for you. So, you know, keep trying if the first few don't work. Yeah, so anyways, what I was saying was I've had to sort of learn how to be alone this year. And I think because I've not been alone for so long, I've always had, for the last sort of like 6 or 7 years, I've always had a group of friends. Different groups, they've changed, like you said, about friends being temporary. I've had different friends, and different groups of friends all the time. And even though those friends have changed, I've always had a group of friends that I can spend time with all the time. But I realised coming into 2022, after not talking to a certain group of friends anymore, that I need to stop doing that, and I need to learn how to be alone. I need to learn how to exist for myself. Because I noticed that my personality and who I am, I was existing for other people and not for me anymore. So much so that I forgot what I enjoyed to do on my own. I forgot my own likes and dislikes. I forgot what I liked about life, you know? And I lost myself completely. And this year I've been trying to find myself, and I definitely am not there yet. But I am trying to find who I was before, if that makes sense. I think Taylor Swift's All Too Well has a great lyric for that, and it's something along the lines of time won't fly, I'm paralyzed by it, which, you know, feeling like it's just not moving along and you're stuck in it. And then it says something like, I just want to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. And that's exactly how I feel. Like I'm trying to find my old self, but I don't really remember who I was anymore. What do you do when your therapist helps you with anger issues, but she has mental problems? If your therapist is being unhelpful, you need a new therapist. It's hard to talk about my feelings because I have depression and I feel different every day. I completely understand. I don't talk about this a lot. I do talk about my mental health to you guys, but I don't talk about it often. But I will say that I for those of you that know much about me, or you follow like my alt social media, beaplays RB, not BPS RBLX, the one that's not verified, the other one. I talk a little bit on there, but I do suffer with anxiety and depression. I have my whole life. I also have panic disorder, so I have a little panic attacks and stuff. And I have nightmares like every single night and stuff like that too. That's why I work so much, in case you didn't know. It keeps me distracted. I like to have something to focus on all the time. so that I am constantly distracted by something. I don't like having too much time to think. So I understand how you feel, because I feel differently every day too. And some days are easier than others. Some days are really not easy at all. But I like I said, I often feel like I'm inconveniencing other people, if that makes sense. And so that's why I like to talk about it. And like I said, some days I'll have days where, going back to the relationship question that you guys asked, some days I have days where I feel really good about a potential relationship and feel really confident about it, and then the next day I can feel terrified by it and not want to be near the person and just totally panic. And I know that that's going to affect their feelings and make them feel like there's something wrong with them or I don't like them, but it's not the case. It's just that I'm terrified. But how do you communicate that to somebody? How do you tell them, I really like you, but I'm terrified of you on certain days because my emotions just freak out and my head just spins and I don't know what to do? Like, explaining that to somebody else and getting them to understand without them being offended or without them being upset or without them making it about themselves is really tough. And so I just stay on my own. Your makeup is slaying me. Clearly I'm late. It looks great. Thank you, Chameleon Cosplays. I appreciate it. Thank you. I actually have expired my time slot, so I'm supposed to go. I hope nobody's meant to be streaming after me, because they're going to be really annoyed because I'm like 5 minutes over. So I want to continue these conversations with you guys. My nephew is gay and my niece is trans and now a he. Oh, that's awesome, Roxanne. Thank you for sharing. I know you're wonderful and I know you'll accept them as well, so that's great. The next It Gets Better stream is going to be on... Bear with me a sec. My next stream on this channel is on Sunday the 15th at the same time of January, because it's one a month. But I want to open up these places for us to have more conversations like this. So I'm thinking about designating either a time on Twitch or some more vlogs or both to talking about these topics. If you guys would like it, I have been thinking about opening up a chat in my Discord to share things you'd like to ask questions about regarding LGBTQ plus stuff and things like that. And I'm thinking about talking to my mods about a way that we might be able to offer a mental health chat in there to talk about like mental health related topics and things like this. The problem is that we would need to like limit it and set it so that only certain people can have access to it, and we need to figure out how we can do that, because I don't know yet. I don't know what rules I would need to have for that. And I also need to talk to my moderators about how comfortable they would be with moderating something like that, so it's something we need to explore. For the time being, you guys all know about Distractions Media, my streamer group with my friends. If you don't already know, we do have a public Discord server for Distractions Media. And inside of that server, there is a mental health chat. So while you're waiting for us to figure out how we can do that, there is a chat in there. I'll send the link right now. If you want to, you can click on that Discord that I've just sent, and there is a mental health chat in there. And then you can actually discuss your mental health or ask questions or advice inside that Discord server. I am in there too. If you do join, then press the verify yourself and make sure you verify. In the rules chat, you just have to click on like the emoji or something, I think. Oh no, you just go to verify yourself. Okay, verify yourself and then select the emoji. So if you want to join, there's the link. No one joined. Okay, never mind. Maybe you're already in it. I'm not a mod on this server, so I can't pin it on this thing, so I can't pin it in the chat. Yeah, Webby talks in there often, other people do. So it's a good place for you to chat if you would like somewhere to chat. So yeah. And Roxanne, by the way, if you're there, James, not mine, the DM one, you dingbat. We're talking about the DM one. I mean, they can join mine as well if they want. Link won't work. Oh, let me get another one. Hang on. Maybe I broke it. Oh, it censored my link. James, send that, please. I sent it to you in DM. Roxanne, if you are still there, I just want to say, I know you've been in my community such a long time. And I just want to say we really feel for you. My moderators were just talking about this after they saw your message, that they wish that they could give you a hug, and I do too. I want to send you a big digital hug. And I hope things start to feel a little bit better for you soon. I know it's tough though, so I just want to send you lots of love. There you go. Thanks, James. There you go. I like how Twitch doesn't show you that it censors your link. So yeah, if you guys want to join, all you have to do is click on verify to get the roles to talk, and there is a mental health chat. Oh, I see Sayapi joined, Nick's joined, Michael joined. I'll just say hi to you. Alright guys, I love you lots. Thanks so much for coming. I don't know if I'm allowed to raid people or not. You guys are mostly my audience, so like I feel like I should be allowed to raid people, right? Yeah, James, could we remove that please as well? I'll just raid this person. I'm sure I'm allowed to raid. I don't think... This person's a nice person, so I know that you're safe there. Here you go, I'll send you here. Just say that B was streaming and that she sent us here, because I'm not going to come to the stream, so I need to go to bed. And I've still got some recording to do as well. So if you, once you get there, just send some love over for me. Thanks for coming to my first ever It Gets Better stream. I love you guys lots. I'll see you in January for the next one. We will be opening some chats and places to have mental health conversations in my own Discord, in my own YouTube, and my own Twitch. I was thinking maybe we could do like an actual like stream on Discord. Like I put the face cam on and stuff and we can answer questions in there. That could be fun. A bit more personal then as well. And then, okay, Sawyer, just to be clear, when you said, could you not ignore me? You're asking inappropriate questions about games like Royal High and my pageants and events during a really important stream about feelings and mental health. I was ignoring them because they're not appropriate for what we're talking about. Those are for somewhere else. So go and ask them on Discord or on Twitter or somewhere else, please. We're talking about really important things here. Things that affects people's lives every single day. Okay? I don't want to sound rude, but that's more important than a Royal High pageant. Alright, I love you guys lots. I'll see you soon. And I'll give you more details as soon as I can. But for now, please feel free to use the DM mental health chat. Love you guys. Thanks for being here and listening. See you soon. Bye.